Hi everyone. I thought I'd get on the video today and attempt to uh, explore here, as I'm in the process of just speaking, what I call the new paradigm of healing. And really, it's not a new paradigm, because this that I will attempt to articulate in part today has always been available, has always been operating. What there is, though, there's more interest and there's more understanding breaking through about what I'm calling the new paradigm, which isn't really new, but it belongs to what is awakening for so many, and in that sense is breaking through into consciousness. Let's start with the word healing, because I don't know about you, but in my experience, most people, when they say they want to be healed, they mean they want to be cured. They want the illness or the emotional distress to go away. And yet we can find really the route to what we want and what we seek when we say we want healing by looking to the root of the word healing. Healing means to become whole. For that word wholeness, I invite you to consider the yin-yang symbol, that circle that is divided into two with a wavy line with a black side and a white side. And the black side has a white dot in it and the white side has a black dot in it. That symbol, the yin-yang symbol. Of course, the black and the white represent the polarity, the perception of good, bad, right and wrong, healthy, not healthy. The yin-yang symbol embodies that way of looking at things. Something is good, it's bad, it's right, it's wrong. And yet at the same time, that symbol is bounded by the circle. And that points to wholeness, that when we are living in an understanding of who we really are, we can see, we as awareness sees only wholeness and completeness. Where the conditioned perceptual experience is always one of good, bad, right and wrong, from the viewpoint of consciousness, who we really are, what is seen is wholeness and completeness. The new paradigm of healing is to come at life, to be lived by awareness that doesn't have an issue with illness. Awareness that holds the both, holds the polarity in equal measure, is a meeting of love with what is playing out in the life, a meeting of unconditional love. Awareness doesn't have an issue with what is viewed as good, bad, right and wrong from the viewpoint of perception, conditioned perception. So of course we live in the play of life, and so our conditioned perception of good, bad, right and wrong is generally the way we operate day to day. It can't be any other way, because we're conditioned from the get-go. And for as long as we're playing in the play of life, we are living in the play of the world, we will be up against the conditioned perception of good, bad, right and wrong. So when an illness develops, it's understandable from the viewpoint of our conditioning that that illness is regarded as, well, we'll have an opinion about the illness. And typically we don't like the illness, we want it to go away. Now that's the beginning of a movement away from healing. The attitude of wanting this to go away, wanting it to change, wanting this to be resolved or fixed. That attitude in relationship to the sensations and the symptoms of the illness, in a subtle way, in consciousness, is one of rejection, is one of resistance. And in the play of energy, what we resist persists. What we resist will carry on. What we resist, we feed. And yet this is the paradigm that is the well-trodden paradigm. When there's an illness, you go to the doctor, you want a medication, a treatment to fix, change, or get rid of the illness. And it appears, at least some of the time, that the treatments and the medications work, meaning there's a cure happens, there's a resolution of that illness, disease. But it's very hit and miss. It's a bit of a lottery, because for all the new wonder drugs, and for the continuing iterations of the next wonder drug, drugs work for some people some of the time, and not for everyone all of the time. So the paradigm, the conventional paradigm of treatment and changing the symptoms and getting rid of them, is not a guarantee for what people want in looking for a cure. And it can't be any other way, because when we live in the paradigm of good, bad, right, and wrong, there always will need to be, there always will be perceived, there'll always be a need, if you like, for the occurrence of something else that is an illness or a distress, because this is the play of the good, bad, right, and wrong world. The only way to experience that wholeness and the origin of the word being healed, the only way to experience that is to wake up. Is to wake up to our nature. Our nature is unconditional love, and from the perspective of unconditional love, all experiences, all that occurs within the play of the world is met equally with love, not with judgment. So say there's a degree of understanding of true nature. There's a perception, at least some of the time occurring, that is love meeting the moment. And say there is an arising of illness, say there's cancer, or there's chronic fatigue arising. And in the play of the world, there's a recognition of those symptoms, and there's a labeling of those symptoms, and there's a treatment plan possible. And yet, if we as awareness go to the doctor's office, we as awareness go to the doctor's office, there is little, if any, chance for that identity to present as wanting to find a cure, wanting this to go away. Because from awareness, there's nothing wrong or bad happening. So we might say, why go to the doctor at all? And that might well happen from awareness as you wake up, when there's some symptomology. From the steady, grounded presence of awareness, the movement to go to the doctor simply might not happen. And within a few days, the symptoms go away all by themselves, seemingly. simply are resolved in the presence of consciousness. Love is the ultimate healer. Love transforms all manner of presentations in the play of life into harmony and wholeness. But say the symptoms are persisting, and so as awareness, as a recognition, it comes to awareness to go to the doctor, to take care of the body in the play of the world. Just because we wake up, it doesn't mean we stop brushing our teeth. Just because we wake up and have a greater understanding of our true nature doesn't mean we don't. Doesn't mean we stop eating. Doesn't mean we don't take care of the body. Just because we realize we're more than a body doesn't mean we appreciate the body and steward the life of the body. So awareness and awakeness is showing up in the doctor's office and sitting down to speak to the doctor. And what's present as awakeness in front of the doctor is a great deal of curiosity. Awakeness presents in the form as curiosity. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen here. Complete open-mindedness. Yes, awakeness knows how to speak the language to the doctor to describe the symptoms. But at the same time, what's awake in us as we wake up is no taking the story too seriously, too personally. There is no personal showing up at the doctor's office. Yes, there's a name, and you filled out the form, and confirm you're that person for the visit. But as awakeness, there's no personal showing up. There's no me with an illness. Awakeness showing up as that wholeness, sitting in the chair in front of the doctor. There's no personal me with an illness. There's an experience of a body that is having sensations that could be labeled in the play of the world with a diagnosis. And awakeness is simply moving that embodiment to the doctor's office. And so there's a great deal of curiosity that shows up and has a conversation with the doctor. And that awakeness and that curiosity is not afraid. That is such a huge, potent experience right there. To have an experience of what are considered serious life-threatening diseases such as cancer and not to have any fear about that happening. That alone, that is recognized already by conventional medics, that when we're not afraid, when there's no fear, then that is a huge stress reducer inside the embodiment. And with a relief of stress, the body's own healing intelligence can turn on, can switch on right there. So simply by not being afraid of illness and disease, it can be enough to remedy and bring into wholeness and what is considered to be a cure, and have that happen. So say, awareness is at the doctor's office and there's no fear, there's a curiosity. That, by the way, creates, if you like, a different outcome already, because awakeness as the so-called patient is awake. There's a field of presence, an energetic field of presence. And that energetic field of presence, where there's no fear, just curiosity, is very magnetic and will draw the doctor into that field of presence. Will draw the doctor in, because that field of presence and groundedness and love is really what we're all looking for. To not be afraid of our experience, to not be in the good, bad, right and wrongness of our experience. but to be in the light of presence, to be unafraid, to be experiencing love and harmony no matter what. And it's very magnetic, and the doctor is drawn into this field. And I've had many experiences, both clients telling me and in my own experience of turning up at a doctor's office as awakeners, just curious. And right in front of my eyes, the doctor begins to shapeshift into a conduit for inspiration. They begin to say things and do things and have their own intuitions that potentize the healing, where the doctor will say something that they may even be surprised with themselves, where they may have an intuition about what's going on, that intuition would not normally be available to them in a perception of good, bad, right, and wrong. Instead, they join in the magnetic field of presence and open themselves up. That their mind opens up, it can't not. Their minds open up and fresh insights come in and intuition. So right there and then, the doctor's visit is transformed. The new paradigm of healing is alive there. There's no fear. There's a shared curiosity open to big mind, to divine mind, for a fresh intuition to come in. That alone is revolutionizing the journey that the embodiment is on. So just showing up as awakeness in the doctor's office, the new paradigm of healing can occur. And of course, after that, staying present and awake, the process of healing, that too can become potentized by staying present and not afraid. If medication or a treatment protocol is followed, that protocol, that healing that is achieved, the time it takes for the remedy to work, the medication to work, could happen a lot more quickly than is expected. Why? Because what's available when we're not in judgment or resisting the illness, when awakeness is available and meeting the moment as unconditional love, the agency and the potency of love is in the mix. That's what cures. That's what creates all form, the agency of consciousness. With consciousness in the mix, what is in the mix is infinite possibility and potential. So then the sky's the limit, in terms of what can resolve itself and transform itself in the illness. That's where spontaneous transformation, so-called miracles, can happen. It's an act of consciousness rushing in, already whole and complete, expressing that completeness and wholeness spontaneously in the form as a miraculous healing. So infinite possibilities open up. Now this new paradigm of healing, there's no guarantee, just as taking medications are not a guarantee in the old paradigm, shall we say. And I think perhaps this is a conversation for another video, but just to point to, in the new paradigm of healing, when the objective is not a cure, but to wake up more, to experience the wholeness and completeness, no matter what is playing out in the body. What's possible if the conventional definition of cure doesn't happen, if in the embodiment there's still a so-called illness? What's possible when we are in an understanding of who we really are? We experience wholeness no matter what. We experience peace no matter what. We experience love and harmony no matter what. We experience that all things, however they look, all that's happening in the body, no matter what it looks like, we see that only as an expression of the infinite creative potential of life itself. We don't see it as a wrongness or something bad or something to get rid of. So we can be technically ill or sick and yet only be experiencing peace and joy and love. So I hope that gives some pointers to what's possible as we wake up and the power of love.